Have you ever stopped amidst the chaos of life, looked back at your past relationships, and asked yourself a haunting question? Why do all of my most logical and sincere efforts seem to completely backfire with women? You listen, you provide, you are always there when she needs you. You give rational advice, you build a solid plan for the future. Logically, you are the best possible choice. But then what? Your care is met with distance. Your sincerity is seen as boring. And in the end, you sit there, alone in your car, confused and wondering, where did I go wrong? Listen carefully. This is the first raw truth you need to carve into your very soul. The problem is not that you are wrong. The problem is that you are using the completely wrong programming language. For years, society has taught you one thing. Your friends, the movies, and even the fairy tales all said to be a good man. But they forgot to tell you that you are trying to use the key of reason to open a lock of the heart. You are trying to use logic to decode a system that runs entirely on emotion. And that is why you constantly fail, constantly feel like a fool in a game where you do not even know the rules. This video will not give you a list of cliché tips. No. Today, I am going to give you this, a master key, a single lens of thinking. The moment you look through this lens, every confusing behavior, every irrational reaction from women that you have ever known will suddenly become clear and predictable. Let me explain with a metaphor. Imagine this. Men and women run on two completely different psychological operating systems. You, the men, you are running on Windows or Linux, a logical, direct system based on commands and performance. If A, then B. Clear, straightforward, and efficient. You believe in cause and effect. And women? They are running on macOS or iOS, an operating system designed with one ultimate priority: the user experience. It values subtlety, a beautiful interface, and most importantly, feelings. It does not just care about what gets done, but how it gets done and how it feels throughout the process. And this is the deadly trap that millions of men are falling into. You are trying to run logical Windows software on a Mac OS machine. What is the inevitable result? System errors, conflicts, annoyance, and endless frustration. Understanding their operating system is the first step, the core foundation for everything to work. And in this video, we are going to decode it together, piece by piece, so you will never have to guess again. Get ready, because your moment of awakening is about to begin. Now that you understand you are interacting with a different operating system, we will begin to build the foundation. This is not about what you do, but about who you must be. This is the core framework, the internal value system, without which all your techniques, all your actions will collapse. The first and most important piece is a raw truth that society often tries to avoid. Respect is more important than being liked. Let me repeat that. A woman cannot love a man she does not respect. You can be the kindest, most generous, funniest man in the world, but if she does not look at you with an eye of deference, your attraction is nothing but a sandcastle, ready to be washed away by the first wave of emotion. And this is precisely why the nice guy trap is so deadly. Nice guys fail not because they are nice, but because they make a disastrous trade. They exchange their own self-respect to buy the affection of others. They are afraid to upset her. They are afraid to say no. They are afraid to have their own opinion. They place her satisfaction above their own principles and values. And ask yourself this: how can you respect someone who does not respect himself? You cannot. A woman's brain, programmed over millions of years to seek strength and stability, will immediately disqualify you from the list of potential candidates. They may like you as a friend, a brother, an emotional dumping ground, but they will never desire you. So, stop trying to be liked. Start acting to be respected. The second piece, stemming directly from respect, is this: lead, do not dictate. Modern women are strong and independent, but do not let that fool you. Deep inside their operating system, the survival instinct still craves a man who can lead the way. This is not about authoritarian control, not about ordering her what to do, it is the ability to make decisive decisions. The failing man asks, "What do you want to eat tonight?" The successful man says, "I know a great Italian place. I will pick you up at 7." See the difference? One hands her the burden of decision. The other frees her from that burden and creates a clear plan. This leadership is demonstrated in every aspect, from choosing a restaurant, planning a trip, to setting the direction for the future of the relationship. When you lead, you are sending a powerful signal to her subconscious. With me, you will be safe. I can handle things. And in a chaotic world, that feeling of safety is one of the most attractive things there is. Finally, the third piece to complete this framework, a concept that seems contradictory but is incredibly powerful: intentional detachment. It sounds strange, right? But the most attractive man is the one who is not overly concerned with the outcome. He wants her, he shows interest, but deep down, he does not need her to feel whole. His life is already full with his own passions, goals, and mission. She's a wonderful addition, not a necessary condition for survival. This lack of neediness is the highest expression of self-worth. It proves you are not seeking validation from the outside. You are your own source of validation. Psychologically, this creates an attractive void. When you do not pursue desperately, when your attention is a prize and not a given, her instincts will kick in. She will want to fill that void. She will want to win your attention, to prove her own value in the eyes of a man of value. These three pieces: respect, leadership, and intentional detachment. They are not techniques you apply externally. They must become a part of who you are. They are the solid foundation. Once you have it, only then can we start building other things on top. If the previous part was about building the framework, who you are, then now we will learn how to drape it in a captivating cloak. This is the art of interaction. This is how you turn respect into desire, how you turn leadership into charisma. The fourth piece, a vital truth in the 21st century: be a giver of experiences, not material things. Many men make a fundamental mistake. They think they can buy attention and affection. They use expensive dinners, lavish gifts, and luxury trips as a currency for exchange. But let me tell you a secret. In modern society, where many women are financially independent, the value of material things is diminishing. What they truly crave, the thing that no money can buy, is emotional memories. Do not be the man who takes her to a five-star restaurant and sits in silence. Be the man who can turn a street food stall into an adventure with unforgettable jokes. Do not buy her an expensive handbag. Create a spontaneous romantic evening under the stars with just a blanket and a flask of hot tea. Material things will be forgotten. Their value will fade. But unique emotional experiences, they will be etched into her operating system. They become a part of her story, and you become the main character in those most beautiful memories. You are not just a provider, you are an architect of emotions. And that is an irreplaceable position. This leads us to the fifth piece, one of the most powerful yet controversial concepts: the power of emotional peaks and valleys. Society teaches you that to make a woman happy, you must create a stable, pleasant, conflict-free environment, a flat line of peace. But what is the truth? Attraction does not lie on a flat line. Attraction lies in the peaks and the valleys. Think of it like a heartbeat chart. What does a flat line mean? Death. A line that beats up and down is what signifies life. Emotional interaction is the same. A man who can make her laugh hysterically, then challenge her thinking with an intelligent question, tease her playfully, and then bring warmth and safety, will create an emotional addiction 10,000 times stronger than a man who only ever brings comfort. This is precisely why bad boys have such intense appeal. Not because they are mean, but because unconsciously or intentionally, they create an emotional roller coaster. The uncertainty, the excitement, the drama. It stimulates a woman's brain, releases dopamine, and makes her feel alive. Of course, I am not advising you to be a terrible person. I am advising you to learn how to be a multidimensional, positively unpredictable man who is capable of controlling the emotional rhythm of the conversation. And finally, how do you do all of this? With the sixth piece, communicate on the emotional frequency. This is the fundamental difference between male and female communication. Men hear words, women feel the intention behind the words. You can say the most confident words, but if your voice trembles, your eyes dart away, your body language is closed off, she will not hear your words. She will hear your insecurity. She is scanning your emotional frequency, not your logical content. Your tonality is more important than your sentences. Your well-timed silence can be more powerful than a speech. A confident smirk can convey more than a cliché compliment. Stop focusing on saying the right thing. Start focusing on feeling the right way. When you are truly confident from within, when you truly have value, everything you do, from the way you stand, the way you look, to the way you are silent, will emit a frequency of strength and attraction. She will not just hear it, she will feel it in every cell of her body. And that is the kind of communication that cannot be faked and cannot be resisted. Now, we will venture deeper into the forbidden zone. We will open the black box of the female psychological operating system, decoding the hidden forces that control the behaviors you once considered irrational, incomprehensible, and even crazy. This is where you stop being a confused spectator and become a master of reading people. The seventh piece, something that gives countless men headaches. Covert tests are a filter for inconsistency. Do you ever feel like she is intentionally making things difficult for you? She suddenly becomes cold. She criticizes something you like. She talks about another man. Or she disagrees with you just to see your reaction. Make no mistake, these are not random acts. These are tests. Her operating system, unconsciously, is constantly running diagnostic programs. It is asking fundamental questions. Are you really as confident as you appear? Or is it just a thin mask? Will you hold your ground and your values when challenged? Or will you immediately surrender to please me? Is your frame made of steel or is it just cardboard? Every time you pass a test, by maintaining your calm, not getting sucked into the drama, and staying true to your values, her respect for you increases by a level. Your frame has been proven to be solid, but every time you fail, you become defensive, angry, or quickly change your opinion to appease her. You are single-handedly destroying the foundation of your own attraction. She does not have to think about it. Her subconscious has already marked you as a risky investment, and the attraction will evaporate instantly. Remember, this is not a game. This is nature's natural filtering mechanism. Next, the eighth piece, a force many men underestimate the power of. Her social circle is her invisible jury. You think this relationship is just between two people? Wrong. There is always an invisible jury watching you. Her best friends, her sisters, and sometimes even her family. Their opinions carry a tremendous weight on her decisions, more than you can possibly imagine. They are the ones she confides in after every date. They are the ones who analyze your every word, your every action. They are the advisory board she trusts to evaluate whether you are truly a man of value. Does he treat you well? Is he ambitious? Do we get the feeling he is a trustworthy guy? You win them over not by flattering them or buying them gifts, but by sincerely and consistently demonstrating your value. When you respect her in front of her friends, when you display confidence and humor naturally, you are not just impressing her. You are winning golden votes of confidence from the jury. And once they have approved you, you will have an invisible shield, a powerful endorsement that no rival can easily overcome. Disregard them, and you are fighting a war on too many fronts by yourself. And finally, the ninth piece, the greatest paradox, the door to understanding everything, the paradox between what she says and what she responds to. This is where 99% of men fall. She says she wants a nice, stable man who always listens. She says she hates drama and bad boys. That is what her logical brain says. That is what she thinks she should want, what society tells her she should want. But look at her actions. Look at the men who actually make her heart race. Her emotional brain responds to something completely different. Challenge, a bit of unpredictability, a confidence that borders on cocky, and the emotional peaks and valleys we have already discussed. This is not her deceiving you. This is an internal conflict within herself. The successful man does not choose one or the other. The successful man is the one who can be both. He is a good, reliable man of principle. This satisfies and calms her logical brain. But he interacts with her in a challenging, humorous, and exciting way. This stimulates and captivates her emotional brain. He is a solid rock, but on the surface of that rock is a current full of surprises. When you can reconcile these two aspects, you do not just decode the paradox, you become the answer to it. We have gone through the framework, the art of interaction, and the black box. Now it is time to face the deepest level, the iron laws of nature. These are not things you can change. These are biological truths you must learn to accept and work with. This is the long game. The 10th piece, the supreme law of female survival. Safety is their gold standard. Imagine the world of emotions as a financial market. Love, passion, romance, sweet words. They are like foreign currencies. Their value can skyrocket in the beginning, but they can also crash without warning when the market becomes volatile. They are unstable, but safety in every sense, financial, emotional, physical, is the gold standard. It is the root currency, the measure of value to which everything else is converted. A woman can be infatuated with you. She can love you dearly. But if, deep in her subconscious, she feels unsafe with you, you are incapable of providing for the future, you are emotionally erratic, or you cannot protect her, then her operating system will flash a red alert. The survival instinct, programmed over millions of years, will tell her that this relationship is a risk to her survival and that of her future children. And when forced to choose between a volatile currency like love and the solid gold standard of safety, her biological brain will almost always choose safety. This is not materialism. This is the law of nature. If you want to build a long-term relationship, you must become a safe harbor, not a ship tossing in a storm. Next, the 11th piece, a truth that might make you uncomfortable, but is a powerful key. External validation is the fuel for a woman's self-esteem. This is a fundamental difference. Men can build self-esteem from internal achievements, skills, career, strength. But due to evolutionary programming and social pressure, a woman's value, in her own eyes and in the eyes of others, is intimately tied to how desired and validated she is. Attention and validation from a man of value are not just a compliment to them. It is a confirmation of their very existential worth. It is the fuel that keeps their self-esteem engine running. When you, as the man she respects, acknowledge her beauty, her intelligence, or her femininity, you are not just making her happy, you are reinforcing her core value. Conversely, When you are indifferent or withdraw that validation, the impact is just as powerful. It is not just silence, it is an implicit message that her value is in question. Understanding this is not for you to manipulate, but for you to realize the immense power in your words and actions. Your sincere validation is one of the most valuable gifts you can give her. And finally, the 12th piece, a biological reality that, if you do not accept, you will face endless frustration. The difference in sexual desire. Let us use one last metaphor. A man's desire is like a light switch. It can be turned on quickly, spontaneously, and without many conditions. It is simply on or off. Meanwhile, a woman's desire is like a complex audio mixing board with dozens of different knobs. There is a feels love knob, a feels safe knob, a not stressed knob, a romantic context knob, a emotional connection knob. For the music to play, you cannot just flip one switch. You have to delicately adjust many knobs at once. You cannot expect her to be in the mood when the stress from work knob is at maximum, or when the emotional connection knob is at minimum after an argument. Trying to mechanically turn her on without regard for her emotional control panel is futile and only leads to frustration for both of you. Accepting this reality, learning to read her mixing board, and focusing on creating a harmonious symphony of emotions rather than just trying to flip a light switch. That is the key to long-term intimacy. We have gone through 12 pieces together. We have built the framework, learned the art of interaction, decoded the black box, and faced the raw biological truths. And perhaps now, you are wondering, what is the master key I promised at the beginning of the video? What is this that, when understood, will make you understand everything? The answer is both astonishingly simple and incredibly profound. It is the red thread that runs through everything we have discussed. Here is your aha moment. That key is, women do not love a man for his logical reasons. They love a man for how he makes them feel about themselves when they are with him. Read that sentence again. Let it sink into every cell of your being. Attraction is not a rational decision made on an Excel spreadsheet. It is not a contract. Attraction is a chemical reaction, an emotional earthquake, a subconscious vibration that no logic can explain or control. When you understand this, everything changes. All 12 pieces we have just gone through suddenly click into place perfectly. Why is respect more important than being liked? Because when a woman respects you, she feels she is with a man of value, and that makes her feel that her own value is elevated. Why is leadership attractive? Because it makes her feel safe and protected. Why are emotional peaks and valleys effective? Because it makes her feel alive, experiencing a colorful adventure. Why is safety the gold standard? Because it gives her a deep sense of peace that no passion can replace in the long run. Do you see? It all comes down to one thing: feelings. When you grasp this key, you will stop making the biggest mistake men make. You will stop trying to convince her with logic that you are a good choice. You will stop listing your strengths like a resume. Instead, you will focus on a single, far more important task: evoking in her the positive emotions she craves: respect, safety, fun, adventure, and a little bit of challenge. So what should you do with this power now? This is not the time to become a manipulator. This is the time for you to move from theory to ethical action. Your goal is not to become someone else. Your goal is to become the most authentic and powerful version of yourself while learning to communicate in the language of emotion, the language her operating system can understand and respond to. And to conclude, I want to leave you with one final vision, a shift in mindset that will reshape your entire romantic destiny. Stop being a hunter. The hunter is the one who desperately hunts for attention, chases after love, and is always in a state of lack. The hunter is always tired and often comes back empty-handed. Instead, become a gardener. The gardener's job is not to chase butterflies. His job is to focus on his own garden. He cultivates it every single day. He tends to his career, his health, his passions, his intellect, and his character. He makes his garden such a lush, vibrant, and irresistibly attractive place. And then the magic happens. He does not have to chase any butterflies. The most beautiful, vibrant butterflies will come to his garden on their own because that is where they want to be. Be the gardener, build your garden, build your value, and you will never have to hunt again. That is the ultimate victory.